Hello and welcome to the Film Whisperers, where two movie nerds talk all things movies with a contemporary lens. My name is Saj.
And my name is Matt.
So, Matt, how are you?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. I guess probably like most people in Melbourne, where we are, I'm enjoying our, kind of new freedoms now that some of the restrictions, well, a lot of the restrictions have been eased. How about yourself?
Yeah, I think we're enjoying our freedom so much that we couldn't even find time to record this in person.
I feel like people, viewers at home, rest assured, we will have an in-studio recording it soon, hopefully. So you get to see all the, the lights and the action. But until then, you still got us at home in the comfort of our own home. So hopefully that's okay.
So, Matthew, what are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, well, obviously, we've I covered so many different topics over the years, actually. But one thing we actually haven't done yet is take a bit of a look, a bit more locally at Australian movies. So, yeah, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about obviously the ones we like, the ones we don't, and the ones that are a bit weird or surprising. Have you seen many such? Because for myself, I guess, like growing up, I didn't watch many Australian movies. I know I'm sure there were plenty that were being made, but I probably watched more as I got older and wanted to watch a lot more movies and more wide variety. So I got into I watched, I guess, more Australian ones. But how about yourself?
Yes, look, I definitely have engaged and indulged in a lot of Australian cinema. I guess I'd like to just question what will we consider Australian cinema to be? Are these films that have been set in Australia? I can think of something like say The Inbetweeners too. Are these films that are produced by Australian companies like your Film Victoria or Film New South Wales, etc. Do they have Australian actors? Do they have Australian directors? Or are they just films that have been branded by uh, society as Australian films, like Priscilla or Muriel's Wedding, The Castle, like those typical Aussie classics. So, what do you reckon?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that obviously, when we're talking about Australian movies today, we're definitely including movies that are set in Australia, so that are about Australian stories. But I reckon we could also extend it if we do happen to cover any that are also made by Australian filmmakers. So, like, if I don't know, there's an Australian director who happened to film a story, but it was somewhere else. I think we could still maybe classify that as an Australian one. But I think by and large, we can focus on like movies that are either set in Australia or focus on Australian stories. So does that work? Is
Wonderful.
that how does that sound?
Yeah, 100%. Well, if I was to stick to your theory about an Australian director, that would make Legally Blonde an Australian movie because Robert Luketic is Australian. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. Matt, over to you. What would
Oh,
you say has been the best Australian film?
well, there are a few that I like, and I was struggling to decide which one because there are some more serious ones that focus on like Australian history that I think are really important. But I've decided instead to opt for kind of just like my feel good favorite one that I've seen many, many times, and I'm sure lots of other people have as well, and that's Muriel's Wedding. Obviously, as I know not to typecast, but as a gay man myself, a movie with Toni Collette, one of her early roles, with ABBA hits in it. Like it's just like it's the winning recipe for success. I can't remember the first time that I watched it, but it's just like an absolute joy to watch. I feel like it's just such a tonic. If you're ever feeling like a bit sad or a bit flat, like it's just such a great pick me up. It's just and there's so many iconic lines in it. And yeah, as a Tony Collette stan, I feel like you can't go past one of the early ones. So yeah, Muriel's Wedding would definitely be mine, which I'm assuming you've probably seen, Saj.
Oh yeah, a few times. I would not call it a pick me up though. I think there were quite a few scenes in there that were very sad and upsetting, but there were definitely really good moments in there. Yeah, as you said, like I'm not dead, Cheryl. Like there's some really iconic lines that you could sort of quote. But yeah, no, I would say yeah, it is one of my favorites. It's not my best.
I'm not sure if it's necessarily my favorite of all time, but it's just one of those ones where I find myself going back to it every now and again because it's just like quite fun. And obviously there are serious moments as well. Obviously like you're feeling for the main character because she's feeling down and she wants a number of things that she's not able to get. And so like yeah, but I find like obviously they made a musical version which I went and saw as well. Like it's just yeah, it's a fun watch, and like I feel like the ABBA soundtrack is obviously what really helps to make the movie. But yeah, I think that would definitely be my one. How about yourself? What's one of your favorite Australian movies?
So this is from 2012. It's the Sapphires.
Yeah, that's a good one. Great one.
Yeah. So It's based on a true story. It's not entirely true, and I believe it was initially a play that they then turned into a musical. And for those who haven't seen it, it's about these three Aboriginal sisters. I think, yeah, I believe they are sisters, played by Deborah Mailman, Miranda Tapsell, and Jessica Mauboy, and how they form a singing trio to go and sing for the troops at the Vietnam War. It's a lot of fun, really good musical numbers, some really good moments in there as well. And I don't know, I've seen it so many times. Jessica Mauboy, she's got a great voice. She's great in it. The soundtrack's really good as well. It is my happy place when it comes to Australian cinema. You've seen it, yeah?
Yeah, I did watch it when it came out. It's really fun, and the music is great as well.
And you put Deborah Melman in anything, I'd watch it. She's an amazing, amazing actress, and I believe Miranda Tapsell, who's come such a long way since, she did a movie which was on my top five in I think it was 2019, which is Top End Wedding. Great film. She's come a long way since, and I think this was her start as well. So yeah, really good story, really good casting, really good acting, amazing performances. So yeah, that would be my best.
No, that's a really good one, and I feel like it's funny because I love Deborah Mailman as well. I feel like everything she's in is so good. Someone that I know though doesn't feel the same way. Like she, for whatever reason, I feel like anything that Deborah Mailman is in, she's like, nah, she just ruins the scene. She's not a fan. And so a few years ago, as like a birthday gift, we just got her all this like Deborah Mailman branded stuff. Like we got a mug with Deborah Mailman's face on it, like a tote bag with Deborah Mailman on it, like all this kind of stuff. So we're pushing this kind of agenda. We're slowly winning her over, but no, I agree. I think the performances are so good. And you know what? People always talk about pop stars turned actors and like the good ones, the bad ones, and it's always like an American focus most of the time. But I feel like Jessica Mauboy does really well. I mean, obviously, like a lot of the role is singing, which she's obviously amazing at, but she's really good in it in general anyway. And like that's one of the ones people
Correct.
don't talk about when they talk about pop stars turned actors. I feel like she deserves her roses as well because she's really good in it.
Yeah, 100%. And, she's done a few other things as well, like Brand New Day, which I thought was really good too. Um, but yeah, look, I think if you remember in the Sapphires, one of my favorite scenes in it is when the trio sing "What a Man."
So good. Yeah.
And it's so good. I know, it's just, yeah, absolutely amazing. But yeah, it's just such a positive story. But yeah, that would be mine.
A plus choice, Saj. And yeah, if anyone is looking to dip their toes into some Australian movies, maybe they haven't seen very many in the past, The Sapphires is very much a good one to go for. Muriel's Wedding, if you haven't already, is also really great. But thank you so much for joining us here on Bent TV at the Film Whisperers. I'm Matt, and that's Saj, and we'll chat to you next time.